Hey everyone, today I wanted to talk a little bit more about credit. I don't feel like I talk about credit enough on this channel, and so I do believe that a lot of people are more interested in the personal credit rather than business credit, so we're going to stick to personal credit for this video and how it truly works and how you can truly utilize it to your advantage. So, the way I've always looked at credit, because I think you need to understand someone's perspective who has always been good with credit in order to understand what you should be doing in order to get better with credit. So if you are just tuning in for the first time, please make sure you leave a like and make sure you subscribe to the channel because it does help the channel grow. And we'll get right into it. So for me, I had a credit card as soon as I turned 18. It was a Citibank card right there in New York City, and I was working at Domino's. And the only bill that I would ever put on my credit card was my cell phone. Obviously, as I've gone to college and away to school, those bills grew. Those bills grew into not only just a cell phone bill, but it also grew into groceries. It also grew into little date nights. It also grew into buying little things here and there at corner stores after a party and whatnot, right? So as those things grew, um, I've always had the mindset of I'm just going to pay everything off at once. There's no trying to cheat the system. There's no interest payments. I'm not giving the bank more money than what it is worth. It just doesn't make sense to me. You understand? I can't see myself paying an extra $5 for something that's 100, knowing that if it was on sale, I'd probably get it for 90. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why would I pay an extra $5 for something that I can get at the regular price for way less? Now, some people just simply can't afford certain things, like let's say a house outright, right? Or a car outright. And therefore, you're going to pay more for that expense because it requires a lot more than what we make in a year. Let's be honest. And so when calculating that type of expenditure, you have to put everything into focus. All right. So the first thing I'm looking at when it comes to credit was it's going to report my credit score is going to drop if I'm over 30%. And not that I care whether I'm over 30% or not. I've been over 30% a few times and I paid it all off when the bill was due because that's what we do. You see, I've never spent money that I didn't have. I've always had the money before I even used my credit card to pay for it. I've never once said, I'm going to get paid next week, so let me buy this today. Never once have I ever said that. I never once said that I can't afford this now, so I'm going to make payments on it. Never once have I ever said that. I never once said that I'm going to go into debt because I need something right away. I will figure it out. If a car breaks down and you have to call 50 different people to fix it, guess what? Even as a guy, you can do that and it will get done. Even if you only got $100 and something costs $4,500, we will figure it out. Okay? You will find the most used piece of junk. You will figure it out. If you have to start taking a bus, if you have to start asking for Uber rides, if you have to start carpooling, if you got to start doing something, if you have to sell the whole car because you just can't afford it at this point, then that's what you have to do. Because going into debt is not an option ever. Not if you have a kid, not if you have a family, not if you have any, it's not an option. Now, going into debt to make more money, now that is an option, but we'll talk about that in other videos. But going into bad debt is absolutely not an option. And bad debt is anything that does not make you money initially. Not, oh yeah, I use my car to get money. Nope. Unless you're a taxi driver, then no. And unless you're doing 80 hours a week, I don't want to hear it. If it's a part-time thing for you, then no. No going into debt for that. It's not your full-time gig. I'm not trying to hear it. You understand? Because I will tow my car to my job and sleep there for 7 days if I have to. Okay. Like, that's the type of mindset that I'm on. Especially if you don't have a home, especially if you don't have kids, then there's absolutely no reason for you to not be willing to do such a thing. Because eventually you can just say, you know what, I'm not renting no more. I'm going to do what I have to do in order to get to work. I'm going to work closer to home. I'm going to find a job closer to the house. I've worked in the restaurant industry. There's always a restaurant right across the street. A lot of people will say they won't even work in the restaurant industry. Well, that's up to them. But not to get off topic, again, never spend money you don't have. Never spend money you don't have. Therefore, I've always paid my bills on time since 18 till now. Because of that, that gives your credit card and your credit score the best rating possible, right? And when I say the best rating possible, it gives your credit the best chance to succeed. Now, on top of that, on top of paying on time, on top of never spending money that you don't have, you start to build on top of that credit when you open up more credit cards. So, for example, Best Buy, Apple, whatever other companies you might like, Amazon, or whatever other companies you might like, those cards, I have all those cards, right? Now, there's going to be some places that want you to buy a credit card and you don't use them, maybe like Home Depot, unless you're into real estate and stuff like that, or Sears, or whatever else, wherever else you can think of that would give you a card. Other banks, Chase Bank, Citibank, TD Bank, whatever bank. You can always get a credit card. I get emails every single day. In fact, I have one right now that I'm staring at for a credit card right on this table. And it's just a part of the life. Now they're offering me $200 just to open up a card. It's not enticing enough. You got to give me $1,000. If you give me $1,000, I would literally open up a credit card. But all these banks, they only offer about $200 to open up a credit line with them. And that's what happens when you have good credit. You start to get free money for no reason, because they understand that you understand money and that you're a good client to have. And you're going to make them more than $200 just by swiping their card and giving them that transaction fee that they take from the realtors, from the retail stores. So they understand that they'll make that $200 back that way. Even if you're good with credit, even if you're good with everything, they're gonna make money off of the off the retailer, off the business. So again, that's why having good credit is amazing, because you're going to continue to use it and continue to be an asset to the banks. Now that you're an asset, now that you're putting money in their pockets by actively going out and buying things, oh, why not have a loan? Take a loan out too. Here's more stuff. So when I took out a car loan on a car that I could actually pay off, I paid that thing off in less than a year. And then guess what? Now it's on my credit for the next 10 years. So that increases my credit as well. With that car loan, that put me well above the 780 mark. And I was able to get the top tier credit for housing. Now, I've also worked as a loan originator for Chase Bank. So I was refinancing houses. I literally am inputting people's credit and telling them what they can afford and what they can't afford based on not only how much they make, but on their credit. So if you ever wanted somebody who can tell you about credit to the T, especially when it comes to housing, it would be me. And Chase only goes up to 780. So all those people who talk about they want an 800 credit score or 850 credit score, unless you're opening up a business, it doesn't make any sense. You're not going to get anything better than the person with a 780 to buy a house. And I have to break it down that way, because when people tell you buy a house, you got a 780 credit score, you just don't understand. You think you need to get a 785. You're not getting anything better than the person with a 780. Now, if you had a 779, yes, you would be just a tier lower. But if you have a 780, come on now. Even if you're on 780 on the dot, it doesn't matter if you had 781 or or 850. You're not getting anything better than the 780. So again, it's a tiered system, and it stops at 780 for the credit rating. So if you believe you're going to get anything better because your score is a little bit higher, you're not. My credit score right now is showing at 789 as I'm making this video. The extra 9 points is doing absolutely nothing for me. It just gives me the confidence to know that when the 3 credit bureaus pull my credit, it should at least even out within that 780 range, and I can buy whatever the hell I want at that 780 mark. Okay, so again, that's another thing to keep in mind. And then when you got the housing and you're paying it off and your debt is decreasing, then it's going to bring me up even more to where I'll be in the 790s very soon, right? Because as you continue to decrease the debt on the housing, then it's going to show that your credit worthiness is that much greater, and it's going to increase your credit score as a result, as well as the longevity of your account. So I'm just about to hit my 7-year mark on a lot of my credit cards, and a lot of my hard inquiries are just about to fall off because I haven't purchased any properties this year. I mean, that's just going to add to the increases. So again, this is just a quick rundown of a little of the personal stuff that's going on in my life, as well as how credit truly works, and identifying some things that are going to help you and benefit you so that you're not necessarily focused on just the credit score itself. Now, in a future video, I'll talk about how to pay off debt and how to manage your finances, and if you're already in credit card debt, how to get rid of that. But that's not this video. So if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And you know, as always, I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube and Rumble. And I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.